afternoon, good night, wherever you are. My name is Leticia, and well, I thought we should try again, like one of the last video I posted. No, the one before the last, the one before the last video I posted. It's like a more like a get ready with me, but oh yeah, the last one was like get ready and get inspired with me, but the other one before that was get ready with me, but like talking to a lot of stuff, my favorites and like things like that. And I really love it. I really like it. I like doing it. I like editing it, and I received like some comments that people also like that, because some people are not like that crazy about makeup, but they want like something to listen to in their spare time, like something more like informal, and I really love that kind of videos, so I'm gonna try it again. But let me take out my glasses. Oh, I'm already marked. It's early in the morning and I already have the glass mark in my in my nose. So I thought like we could do today something that is a little more oriented. Not that the last time I didn't have like some topics I did, but I was discussing lately a little about like what sustainability means to me. I've worked with sustainability as a branch. I was an architect, but most of my job was actually helping people go through audits, or actually applying sustainability principles in their buildings, in their homes, in their office, whatever it was. And I did that since I was interested in this field since I was, I don't know, 20 years old. So that means I've been like learning and interested in sustainability for 13 years now, and I worked with it for at least 8 years. So I'm just gonna share a little bit about my experience, because it is a topic that people are talking a lot about now, but most people are very new to that topic. And I don't think that I have all the answers, as I'm right about everything, but I think that it's nice to have like different points of views of like a topic or a subject. Some people are gonna be very strict and saying like sustainability is that and that because that's what it is in a book. I think sustainability is a way of living, and it's not like a lifestyle. I suppose someone could say that, but a way of living, more oriented like almost in a whole world context. It could be a whole ideology. It could be many things. It depends where you want it to go. So let's stop talking, just talking a list, and start doing some makeup. No? And I'm gonna talk more about that. Let me just, the camera is a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. So I think a lot of people have idea that sustainability, it's something like that you have to pay for. Like you buy expensive shit, basically, made carefully in high standards, or something that you don't even know is like just a thing here. And it accomplished all of those check marks that you don't need to worry about, and that's sustainability. I don't agree with that. I think sustainability most of the time is exactly the opposite. I think sustainability it can be very cheap, and it can be very native and empirical to whatever we, or even our ancestors already did in the past. The idea of sustainability, it's being able to sustain ourselves in the world how it is today, not taking in account that the resources we have are the resources we have. It's not like magically gonna like find more resources and suddenly we're all saved, right? And no one, that's probably not gonna happen in the world, that in the technology that we have right now. That's very unlikely to happen, because we know most of the things, the big things like that about our world. It can happen, but we can count on that to happen because it's not likely, right? And also because that would be just pure luck, but basically because it's not likely. I was using the E.L.F, the putty primer for blemish fighting. Just a parenthesis, I don't notice it's helping, but what it is helping about my routine is that I'm using the retinol, and it's the CeraVe retinol, which is very mild. I use it 3-4 times a week, but my doctor also prescribed me to help to fight the inflammations, peroxide. I don't know, it's like basically antibiotic and a cream that I use at night, so it basically like dries up the patches and helps clear the inflammation spots. So you see like the spots I have here, most of them are healing, and they're healing very well. It's helping me a lot. That was a parenthesis, nothing to do with sustainability. Going back, so sustainability, in my point of view, has a lot to do with everything. Like some people just say like, oh, I'm gonna be more sustainable, and they kind of confuse that with minimalism, and they just think that like if I buy less, I'm more sustainable. Theoretically, kind of, because like consuming a lot is not sustainable, because if you think about it, it's very easy to see what's sustainable, what's not, in like a kind of idea kind of way. This is face and body MAC. Think about it like that. Like, how much do you shop in a month? Do you think that if everyone in the world shopped the same as you did in a month, and I'm saying like the 7-8 billion of people in this world shopped exactly the same, do you think we would have enough things for them to shop? I know it's very kind of like how would you know, right? But it's kind of obvious if you inform yourself and like look at other people's lifestyles. Like, you know that in a lot of countries that's not even close to the average of their lifestyle, right? The consumerism lifestyle that they have. So if, for example, India has like billions of people. China has billions of people. If everyone there changed their lifestyle, it would impact the whole world, right? So if you think about the whole world changing their lifestyle to be exactly like America average, like United States average, we wouldn't be able to survive. There will not be enough resources for us to do that. So that's why we say it's not sustainable, because we can't sustain that pattern for a long time, or at least, or sometimes not even a small amount of time. So that's basically what it means. But if you look at the root of the world, then we are saying that it's not just about like what we're consuming. It's how we are consuming, it's how we see things, it's how we use things. Because everything in some instance is demands some kind of resource, right? Like when you eat, there are ways of eating that are more sustainable than others, but the ways of eating that are more sustainable than others also vary from regions and different cultures. I know culture is very like whatever title, but you kind of like understand. It's like in a region you have more access to rice, in another region you have more access to corn, in a region you have beef, in another region you don't have beef. So if you were to buy beef, you have to import all of that beef, and that means that you have a lot of resources in transportation being used. So we as humans right now in the 21st century, we are not used, we don't think about that stuff. We are used to abstracting all of this away. It just arrives to our door. We buy something on Amazon, it arrives to our door. That does not make us not responsible for what we're doing. We are just choosing not to think about it, but we're still responsible, even if we don't want to be. It doesn't matter. So we're using the Fenty eye brightener in the color 6 Melon. And when I say those things, also, I'm not like trying to make anyone like feel bad and guilty. It's just like sustainability is about a full circle. Like, it helps if you start doing something in one of the areas, but you should what I think in general, what helps the most is to think about the things you're doing, to be conscious about them. Like some people get overwhelmed about it, like they're like, no, I need to help the environment, and then suddenly they have to be zero waste, they have to be vegans, they have to be whatever, their house needs to be zero energy or energy positive, and like it has to be everything at once, and that's not viable. And that's why many people don't do anything, because they try to do everything, they get overwhelmed because obviously they can't do it, and they stop doing anything. That's not like people that are trying to bring awareness. The first step is to try to think about things, right? So what is sustainable in your life, in your community, in your environment? Like I live in Canada, it's not sustainable for me not to have heating. I would die. Like it's not possible. But what is sustainable for me is to try maybe find a better way to heat myself that is more sustainable, like it has less impact in the environment. Maybe that's also not viable because I'm in a house and I can't choose that. I would have to like renovate my whole house, so that's really not like better, because I would use a lot of resources that are not necessary to renovate a house. And then what I can do is try to like heat a little less my house, so I consume a little less fossil fuels. What I can do is tackle other areas of my life. Maybe there some areas I can't really do anything about it. I thought about it consciously, and I saw that there's nothing that I can do about it, at least not right now, so I can tackle other areas and go. And if you want to do it, go slow, one at a time, please. You are going to get overwhelmed. The point that I wanted to bring here is like the importance of thinking about it and being conscious about it. In one of the parts of having a sustainable lifestyle has also to do with finances. I think like everything needs to close in a circle, right, to be like completely sustainable. So just saying like, oh, I'm gonna buy a sustainable wash and dry machine because, and I'm gonna like be in debt about it just because it's better for the environment, that's not really sustainable. Like no one here is saying like, oh, you have to go in debt and like, and that's gonna generate you a lot of like health problems and stress and maybe even cause you a disease, but that's better for the environment. It is not. It is not. Like that's not the end goal here. The end goal here is that everyone can live like healthy. Maybe leave that in a list for things that you can do later when you get the money, things that you have to work on, but don't be stressed about like I have to waste a lot of money to be sustainable. That's not sustainable. And also wasting a lot of money and being in debt for any other reason is also not sustainable. I know there are people that have to pay for their like health services, and that's something else because you're kind of paying for your health, so it's kind of like a crazy circle there. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like just consuming to consume. And it's also part of sustainability, honestly. Like, and that's one of the big problems with consumerism, is not just that we are like spending a lot of resources that we shouldn't and we don't have to buy stuff we don't need. It's also that in order to do that, we're ruining our health. Like humans are losing sleep and they're ruining their lives just to consume something that they don't need. Like everything's part of sustainability. The health of our community, the capability of our community to think, to come to decisions, to unite on self, and to everything, it's directly or indirectly connected to sustainability. Like you can't have a sustainable system that basically thrives on taking advantage of other people, because that's sustainable for some but not for all of them. And I think like the social political parts of sustainability are usually forgotten and usually left by the side, and people just create like products that are labeled as green and sustainable, and they sell it to you like they are fixing your problem, but that's not the problem. Sustainability is a way of thinking. It's like seeing that sometimes you don't need something new. You can use something that you already have, something old. Most people in the past didn't have the luxury to do that. They would try to like work with what they had because they didn't have resources or money, or even if they have money, they didn't have resources. It was not available to them. So they had to make do with what they had. And unfortunately, like for the good and for the bad, that's not how we live nowadays. But that made us completely forgot or maybe never learn about the other side of the coin. Like, what does that mean? The fact that we don't have to worry about that anymore. Well, it means that if we kind of start thinking that with money we can solve our problems, but that's not really like how life works. Like, it might look like that at first, but we're just creating problems for someone to solve after, and in the end it's gonna, bite us. Even if it's not you directly, someone's gonna have to pay the price. Someone always pays the price. Nothing is for free like that. I don't want to sound depressing. I noticed that I might have. Oh, just going back. I use Fume and Simmer from the Phytosurgence blush collection. And now I was using the Wonder Clown from Rimmel. Anyways, my point is just like to clarify that like some misconceptions that I think people have, because I don't have all the answers, and as I told you, I'm not like I don't even work with that anymore, but like things haven't changed that much, unfortunately. Things are still pretty much the same. I just think like things are not as straightforward as they seem. There's a very good video from Kurzgesagt, the YouTube channel, where they basically brainstorm like how to solve this sustainability problem in our world. And basically, like, honestly, their conclusion is like, alone, doesn't matter whatever you do in your house, it won't change anything, because the biggest impact comes from industries, big companies, and if they don't change, it doesn't matter whatever you do, it's not gonna help. And they say, like, of course, you don't need to be very drastic about that kind of thought, but like one of the most sustainable things you can do is actually vote right. Because if you vote for people that have the right mindset to fix the problem that needs to be solved, like in a macros like view, it's not really a micro problem, it hasn't been a micro problem for a long time. If you vote right, the problem has a chance to be solved. So it ends up that voting is one of the most sustainable things you can do. Even though I think, unfortunately, most people don't think about it like that. They tend to see, so that's one of the problems, I think, with the sustainability concept, is that people kind of put sustainability in a box and they put real life in another box. Sustainability is something that we have to worry about the future. We are already in that future. Like, it's not like it was a problem for the future when we were talking about it in the 80s. Not anymore. And some people, most of the people, I think, is still thinking about like, it's a problem for the future, let's save the future. We're kind of trying to save ourselves. It's not the future, really. It's not. I know you wish it was, but it's not anymore, and it has been some time that we are losing this battle. Sorry. I just used Burt's Bee in Toasted Cinnamon blush. Thinking about the eyes now. So basically, like, you should try to do it in your life, but you shouldn't stress and have anxiety over that in a micro view. So if you have to buy something, try to look for alternatives. Do you have something already that you could use? Could you buy something used? Could you just take from someone to use for a period and then give it back, or anything else? But if in the end you can't, lots of things you can't, just you can buy it. It's just like sustainability touches lots of areas in your lives, almost all areas on your life, and you can start doing it in small patches. But the most important ones are actually the areas that are kind of outside your reach directly, but not indirectly. That's why I say, like, voting, choosing the companies you're supporting, asking for companies to change, like that kind of thing can trigger more important things than just, start to buy oat milk. Like, it's good too. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but I'm like, if you really have to choose some things to start, maybe you should start with another one that will cause more impact, because not everyone has time and energy to think about all of those things. So if you have to start with something, maybe research more about the person you're voting for. Maybe try to write to the people you voted for, to try to make them do what they propose themselves, what they put themselves to do. Did they lie to you? Like, how's it going? Do you know what they're doing? Did they do what they said they would do? Like, that kind of thing. Like, people think they don't need to do that, but no one's gonna do it if you don't do it. That's the fact about life. So I have a couple of new eyeshadows. I can't show this, can I? This is a crazy situation. So those are my Clionadh eyeshadows here, the square rectangular pans. These are some Clionadh eyeshadows too. These here are these big pans, these big round pans. They are the Shady Glow eyeshadows, and all of the other ones here, the medium round pans, they are from Juvia's place. I have the worst memory ever, sorry. And I bought the sweet pinks, mauves, and peaches, and I depotted them because I can't stand having 3,000 small palettes all around. I'm like, I want to see all my colors together. But the problem is that the Juvia's Place ones, they're not magnetic. So I had to buy, now I'm waiting for it. I had to buy it's a metal sticker to put in the back on the pan, so all of them can be magnetic. That's kind of why I can't turn it to you, because they are gonna fall. My nose is irritated. Sorry. So basically, I don't mean to be a drag, and I feel like it's important to talk about these things, because it's easy for us to think very hard about that when it's everyone's training that topic, and then we just completely forget about it because it kind of overloads our head. And to really think how incorporate that into our day-to-day thoughts and try to take those correct decisions. Even if we don't, that's okay. Sometimes we forgot, sometimes we can't, sometimes we fail because we're human. But we are only in this global state that we are because people were just totally ignoring and wishing it just goes away by itself. No one's thinking about it. Almost no one was thinking about it in the past. That's why we got to that state. It's not because people are trying and they are failing sometimes. If everyone was trying and failing sometimes because we are human, we wouldn't be in this state. We would be much, much, much better. The fact is that no one was trying almost anything. Even if some companies tell you they are trying, they are not trying. They're trying, for example, H&M, I think they release a sustainable collection. That's the joke. It's you can't have one sustainable collection in a company that is as rot as they are. That's the joke. I understand some people don't have money to buy clothes in other stores and all that blah, 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 blah. I understand that. And I'm not being dismissive. I'm just saying you don't have money to buy better clothes in other stores? Do you have to buy from H&M? Do you have to buy 15 pieces of clothes every month from H&M? I don't think you need. You can buy the clothes you need from H&M, but trying to say that you don't have money to buy good clothing, but then you consume like crazy and you have a closet that is full of clothes, and then you try to what? Like, no. that's not an answer. That's a joke. What I'm saying is like, people are not really trying. If people were trying, we would be much better than we were. Some companies are just like trying to do greenwashing, and they are trying to fool people, and people are pleased to be fooled because they don't want to think about it. That's how I feel. I'm not talking about any all companies, but most of the big ones. That's what we see, right? There are small indie brands that try to do things very correctly, but they're not the ones leading the market. Like, if you go to a grocery store, do you still take plastic bags? Or do you go to the cashier or the manager and ask to talk to them and say, I don't want to take plastic bags. What is the alternative? I know because of COVID, we had to like try to go back some steps, I would say, like with the reusable packaging because of contact and all of that. But after COVID, we shouldn't just go back to plastic. We should go back to start trying, like, I want to bring my own glass, plastic, whatever container that I'm going to use, and I don't want to use your plastic bag. I want that alternative. Like, if the consumer doesn't demand that, nothing's going to change. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Like, in the start of COVID, I had to order groceries in because I was too afraid to go to the supermarket, and they would like deliver me everything in plastic bags in my doorstep, and I'll be like, really? Can't you just, you have paper, like the paper cartoon boxes, can you just put everything inside it? I mailed them like 5 times, and they're like, no, we can't do that. It's like, but if we don't try, we will never get it, because they will never know we won't change. If I'm the only one trying, then nothing's gonna change. That's basically what I'm saying. And this is all sustainability. It's not just like, oh, I'm consuming less energy. That is also sustainability, but that's not all that sustainability is. It's also like, what are you consuming? Like, even if you start talking about, like, for example, Zara or H&M, like using almost slavery works, that's basically slavery, that they use in Asia, that's also not sustainable. Because it's sustainable, maybe it's sustainable for you that you're buying it, but not for the people who are working there. They are dying, they're starving. Like, is this sustainable for just you? Sustainability just for you then? Like, sustainability has to be for everyone. Everyone has the right to have good, healthy lives. I would think that that's the minimum. I don't know. Let's go back to the eyeshadow, because I get touchy. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. It's just like, I spend too much of my life trying to make people see this kind of stuff. And the truth is that, at least in architecture, I'm not gonna talk about all the markets, but they just wanted to do whatever it was enough for them to be able to attract more people to buy their stuff. So basically greenwashing. And if anything had to be cut, any sustainability thing that they did would be the first one to be cut out. So it's like, it's very hard. It's very touchy for me. The subject was always very hard to be taken seriously. And I don't know. I think sometimes you just get tired enough to almost not care anymore. And I think that's very sad, honestly, where this environment did to me, like the architecture sustainability environment. And I am glad to have left, that I've left, because in a certain way it was kind of like destroying me, killing me softly, not in a good way. was destroying my hopes and dreams. Now, like, I don't consider myself like militant, but I try to lead by example. And I find like many of the people I know, they are trying to, in smaller ways, like trying to use reusable bags and all those things, which is great because it raises awareness. Like if everyone is using reusable bags, if you're the only one that's not, you're gonna feel bad about it and you're gonna have to try to change. I don't actually want people to feel bad about it, but this is a way of showing people that there's another way and it's feasible, and you should be doing that because everyone is like it's not that difficult really. And even some ways that you have to like consume, like, oh, I have to buy a reusable bag. Yeah, but I mean, basically everyone has a reusable bag. Like, be real. Like, everyone has one. Even the plastic ones, you can reuse some of them. It's not like we're asking you to spend $100 in a reusable bag, right? And some things are more expensive and much more difficult. That's why, like, having an electric car, it's not your duty. It's not my duty. Like, I don't have the money to spend in a car. You know, like, use public transportation. Rent a car when you can, when you need. Those are also sustainable things to do. Ride a bike when you can. So I just use like a shade from the Mauves from the Juvia's place just to mark the crease. I have so many eyeshadows now that I feel like I don't want to buy anything for the rest of my life. Because I was like, let's try. I'm really digging the berries and the pinks. Let's try some. And I bought like the small palettes. But like when you put them together, there's so many. I'm like, I don't want to buy anything for the rest of my life. Which brings me to the second topic that was not supposed to be in this video, but I will talk more about it in another video. I'm not going to do a no buy year, but I'm really thinking about doing a low buy year, which is basically what a no buy year is, because there's no such thing as a no buy year. You have to buy something, food, like, you know, unless you make your own food, which is awesome. But my garden, nothing grows in this garden. It's under the shadows. So yeah, we tried. Oh, basically instead of going with the red one, I'm going with this deep burgundy purple, because I haven't used this one yet. So basically, I hope I wasn't being too confusing. Maybe I was mostly venting, yes. Sometimes I feel like because I've worked with this and I know how serious this all is since I was kind of young, you know. I've been working with this for a long time, and I see like some things are very easy to do. Most people just literally choose not to. There's a lot of frustration for me around this topic, which is why I was saying that I'm kind of happy I actually got out of it. But at the same time, it's a topic that I won't ever like let go, because it is a passion for me. It goes very deep. For me, that's like how I see the world. For me, it's like, you know, like when some people have like a religion and a certainty that things are the way they are, because that's what sustainability is for me. It's almost my religion's like, but that's the truth. That's the truth. What are you talking about? And so for me, it's very hard to see like how people don't take it serious and make it to make this all into a joke. And also because of my personality, is very hard, because basically we don't have control over the situation. Like we do, but we don't. Like as I was saying, like we can try to change everyone together, but I myself, I can change it. I can change it by myself. Like, so it's basically like giving up control of my own fate and my own life into the world. Like people that I don't know, people that I don't trust, I certainly don't trust. And it's basically like learning. It's basically like learning to let it go. It's like, I would not, my future, it's in the hands of, you know, everyone, people. And that's very hard for me as a little bit of a control freak. So yeah, that's that. Which helps us to grow, I think, a little bit. Like it did, like, now to be able to talk about it, I'm already kind of letting it go, which also it's good and it's bad at the same time, because when you are in this, you may sound like you just, you know, you gave up. I didn't give up. I'm still trying very hard to do the correct things as well as I can, right? Take the right decisions. But it might come off and sound like very, you know, sometimes condescending, sometimes just frustrated, sometimes like I just straight gave up. And honestly, sometimes it is all of that, because I'm just tired. But you know, sometimes sometimes I have like my passions reignited. And it gets better. I never stop trying though. It's like I never stop loving you. You know, that romantic thing. Like, it's still my passion and I never stopped believing it. I never stopped trying. I don't think I'll ever will. I don't think. I think it's too part of who I am to ever do that. Well, I'm talking so much. I'm thinking about using a very special eyeshadow that I haven't used properly yet, which is Patina Jeweled Multichrome from the Clionadh eyeshadow collection, and it's like this beautiful multichrome. So I'm gonna try to use that for the first time, like actually on my eyes, because I swatched it but I haven't used it yet, because I took vacations in the end of the year. I was like, and like I was so glad about not doing anything, just like, no, I don't have to be productive, I'm fine. Oh, maybe I should do that and that. I did some stuff, but I was pretty happy on not being productive at all, which is very liberating. I didn't even do the laundry. I just did the laundry like this week, first week of work. So I was like, no, it can wait. It can wait. Nothing is as urgent besides the climate crisis as it seems. I think like what a crazy color to blend, right? The purple with the patina. But I actually chose this like thinking about it. So I don't think it's as crazy as it seems. I think like the deep purple with this kind of chartreuse green color works perfectly. Because these eyeshadows, they are very high quality. Not just the Clionadh, of course the Clionadh is like impeccable, but the Juvia's Place, also the JD Glow, as far as I can tell too. I used a little less, because it took like more than 1 month to arrive, so about it like in the Black Friday, so now I have to choose an inner corner. Maybe I'll try a little bit of the Limelight from JD Glow. Let's see. I don't know if it's light enough to be an inner corner highlighter. We're gonna try now. Oh, Maya's visiting. So basically I don't wanna like And this video sounds like I think the world's gonna end tomorrow, because that's not true. But I just wanted to talk about like how many ways sustainability can be in our life we don't notice or we choose not to notice. And basically the idea of sustainability, that everything is kind of connected, and anything that helps to use less resources and to be better for them, and consequently to be better for the environment, it is connected to sustainability. Even if you don't notice right now, and to bring awareness and to help people like realize this kind of stuff and think about this kind of stuff, that's like one of the most important things we can do to help. Trying to bring awareness, it's very important. This is the E.L.F. Was this video a little bit of venting? Yes. So, in summary, I did my eyebrows and my eyelashes. Was this video a little bit of a venting? Probably. And I'm sorry for that. It's not what I wanted. But I think like the worst thing we can do about a topic like this is, instead of actually discussing it and just like pretending it doesn't exist, and or even like being shy about it, even if we talk and say wrong things, like if we're discussing, one can enlighten the other and we can discuss and bring this to light. That's the best thing we can do. Even if I say something wrong, the worst thing to be done is not to say something wrong, is just to say nothing and just not to take part in the conversation at all. This is Glossy Fawn Color Rich Shine from L'Oreal, and the liner was Color Sensational from Maybelline in the color Magnetic Mauve. I'm losing my voice, believe it or not. I forgot the highlighter. No. Okay, so I'm not gonna use the Phytosurgence now because I have already powder on my skin, so I'm gonna use just the Either Beauty one. So, yeah, my makeup has recently been heavily inspired on Angelica's makeup, because I'm digging the colorful, metallic, and super rainbow eyes. I probably use more metallics and duochromes than she does. She usually likes matte more, it seems. That's an influence of Hannah Louise's post. I'm a hybrid. Anyways, well, I hope I didn't offend anyone. My objective here was to bring conversation to light and discuss, you know. I think it's important to not stop talking about it and to make people see that this is important. That's the only way that we have from now on, and at least for me, that's my truth. And the next videos are gonna be a little lighter. This is a weird starting the year video, I suppose, but it's a topic that we cannot hide from, so I'm glad I did it. I hope you like it, enjoyed it. Comment, like, whatever you want. To the next one. Bye.